Fall trends for 2024. Let's get started. Good morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how-to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. If you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So let's go ahead and get started with these trends. And I will say, looking at this list, I'm going to be pretty on trend this fall and winter. So first, let's start with color. The very first color I want to bring to your attention is olive green, dark green. It's not like that regular green or that quintessential green that you think about like when you pull it out of your crayon box. It's going to be a little bit more elevated, a little bit more sophisticated. I actually really like this hue of green. I don't too much care for forest green, and I don't too much care for like the regular green or like a green apple. But I like this because it's like a more, like I said, a more classic or a more elevated version of just green, and it is going to pair very well with your neutrals, with your blacks, your navies, your grays, your camels, your tan, your beiges, and even maybe a pale pink. The next color is going to be a mellow yellow or canary yellow, and this hue of yellow has actually been in for a couple of seasons now. We saw it last spring and summer, we saw it this spring and summer, and it's going to be no different for this fall and winter. And I believe it was Gucci that did debut a mellow yellow or a canary yellow suit on the runway. The next color is going to be burgundy or oxblood red, and I actually really like burgundy and oxblood red more than just the typical red color. I'm not really a red girl, but I do love the richness of the oxblood and the burgundy. And then the last color is going to be a sand. Most of you know this as khaki, and I was looking at some of the fall and winter runways for 2024. I'd probably say one of my most favorite runways was Balmain. You will see that I did use a lot of their examples, but they had these gorgeous sand monochrome outfits, and I would probably say at least two of them I would wear. But when you think of sand, just think of your regular or your quintessential khaki color from head to toe, and you will be on trend. Moving on to prints, there are two that I want to point out. The very first one that I am wearing is animal print. I believe this is cheetah. More so, whenever we think of animal print, we always do think of leopard, but just think of animal print. It's classic, and some people even consider animal print to be a neutral. I know I do myself. It pairs well with just about anything, and it pairs very well with neutrals. But when you think of animal prints, I want you to think about it in shoes, in bags, in coats. Really just everything that you can think of is going to come in animal print. The last print is going to be check. Some people think of picnic when you see this print, and some people refer to it as buffalo check. But I think the way that Balmain did this dress is stunning. You guys know that I love statement pieces. I'm also not a print person. I prefer texture, but I love this dress. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love it. But you will notice when it comes to checks, you will notice that you're going to have a lot of sets, and you're going to notice that designers are doing it in an elevated way. This is something that you can easily, and I'm pretty sure most people have some type of check in their closet already, and you can pair it with just about anything in your closet, especially if it comes in your regular colors like black and white. Let's move into the trends. The very first one is going to be circle skirts or full skirts. You guys already know what skirt I am getting ready to bring up. I wore it time and time again when it came to the summer, but it is going to be my white Banana Republic midi length circle skirt. When you're thinking of full, I want you to think nipped in at the waist and then all the volume that you can possibly manage at the bottom. Y'all know that I love fit and flare, y'all know that I love midi, and y'all know that I love full skirts. Whenever I think of a full skirt, I think of Oscar de la Renta, and I actually think of Dior. Looking at the Dior runway, there weren't very many circle skirts, they're very voluminous skirts, but it doesn't have to be voluminous, like huge voluminous. It can just tuck yourself in at the waist, and maybe you have some pleating, or maybe it's A-line, or maybe it shoots out. But when you think of full skirts, we're not talking about pencil skirts. So you guys know that I love this trend, and I should be able to stock up. The next trend is going to be layering and draped fabric. You guys know that I have several draped tops, and I think that this is just so beautiful on the woman form. Again, I think right here, the first one that I'm showing you is Balmain, and it is a check print, but it is a very muted, very subdued check print. But they have the beautiful top, then they have the draping right here, then they have the draping on the side, and then they have the pants. It's another monochrome look, but I think this was done so beautifully. But when you think of draping, you're literally just going to take, let's say you have like a cashmere pullover, like just like a cashmere, like a shawl. All you do is you literally just put it on and then you flip it over, and you're good to go. The next trend is going to be curved clothing. So when you think of curved clothing, think of volume. So you have a beautiful coat and then the arms come out like this. Or again, let's say you have a pair of pants. We know what was very popular were the barrel jeans, voluminous clothing. I know for me, the first time that I saw it was Awake Mode, but I think the silhouette, especially for the arms, is very beautiful. It seems when it comes to the trends for 2024 that they are very wearable, they are classic, and they are becoming a little bit more covered. We're going into like the ladylike era, we're going into the feminine era. The next trend, and this can really be 2 trends or 3 trends in one, is going to be feathers and fringe and texture. You guys know that I did my challenge getting dressed for 30 days, and like I said earlier, what I found out is I'm not really a color person, but I love texture. So you guys already know what piece I am getting ready to bring up. It is my sweater dress full of pom-poms from Ula Johnson. When you think of more is more, when you think of textures, when you think of feathers, that's what I want you to think of. You have full dresses in feather, you have full skirts, you have full suits, and you have coats. Just think of texture, think of fringe, and think of feathers. You guys also know that I have 2 of these sleeper pajama sets or lounge sets that have feathers on the top and on the bottom of the pants. When you're thinking of this trend, just think of being very over the top, like one of the dresses that I showed you. Nothing but texture. The next trend, which I've said this before, and this was in season last year when it came to fall and winter. I don't care what anybody says, turtlenecks are sexy, but they are going to be in again for this fall and this winter in 2024. My newest one is from J. Crew. It is beige. I would probably say I have around anywhere from 10 to maybe 15 turtlenecks, and they are all in different colors and they are all in different textures. But I think what a lot of people were saying when it comes to the runways was the whole Phoebe Philo phenomenon. If you are not aware, she dropped her first collection. Some people were excited, some people were not. Some people said it was way overpriced. But when it comes to the turtlenecks, it's even going to be the jackets as well. It's going to be that very bold stand-up collar. The next trend is going to be liquid leather. Leather is something to me that is a staple and it's classic. It's always going to be on trend, but it seems like each fall and winter there are different variations. So this time when we say liquid leather, it looks like designers are attempting or using leather just as if it is regular fabric. You have dresses, you have skirts, you have shirts. I know I showed one picture right here when it just basically, it's like this and it's really tight to the body, but it's leather. So when you think of leather this season, yes, you do have your leather jackets, but also think of very unconventional ways to use it. I saw a leather fit and flare dress. I saw a dress that was draped. Again, like I have on this tipi sweater right here. I saw a very tight leather shirt. So when you're thinking of leather for this fall and winter, just think of it outside the box. The next trend is going to be asymmetry, and I was seeing most of this when it came to skirts and when it came to dresses. So when you think of asymmetry, it's not symmetrical. So let's say you have a dress or a skirt hem and it just goes straight across. Now it's going to be slanted, or now it's going to be uneven. And I think that this example that I'm giving is really beautiful. I think this is Balmain as well. But just think of asymmetry, and you can even think of it as like a handkerchief, even though that is even more distinctive, but just think of it as it's not straight. It's kind of going in one direction. And then also you will see it probably at the bottom of hems when it comes to sweaters and shirts. It's going to be like at this angle. And as a matter of fact, these types of tops have been in for a couple of semesters. And as a matter of fact, these types of tops have been in for a couple of seasons as well, but now we are going to see it come down to the skirts and the dresses. And the last trend is going to be elevated basics. And again, I think this is kind of coming off the backs of the quiet luxury, which they're just renaming it elevated basics, right? So basically, instead of maybe going to Target to get your button up, maybe you go Banana Republic, or maybe you go Ula Johnson. It's an elevated basic that's basically you can wear time and time again, and it's going to last in your closet for more than one season. You know, you don't wash it and then it falls apart. There's nothing wrong with Target, but people are being a lot more cautious with how they are spending their money. I will give you the two perfect examples you guys should already know from last fall and winter, what I'm getting ready to show you. It is going to be my Aritzia figure coat, the gray one, which is absolutely gorgeous, and then the camel colored one, which is absolutely gorgeous. I would actually really like this coat in a cognac and a very dark brown. But the silhouette is very classic. It's nipped at the waist, it has shoulders, it's very warm, and it is a very classic length, and like I said, a very classic silhouette. That same coat you could probably buy at Forever 21, or you could probably buy at H&M, but at the price point and where I bought it from, that coat is going to last me a very long time. So it's the exact same thing with your jeans. Let's say, for instance, you are trying to elevate your jeans. Maybe go for a dark wash, not necessarily a skinny jean, but let's say you're going to go for more of like a wide leg or maybe like a boot cut. So when you're thinking of your elevated basics, it is about the quality, but it's also about the cut and how it looks and how long it's going to last you. So those are all of the trends that I have for you today. I will have a styling video coming soon, but let me know in the comments about what you think of these trends. I would say that all of these are pretty wearable, and I also feel like all of these trends can go through different aesthetics. I feel like someone who is a classic dresser like myself, or someone who is like a bohemian dresser, can actually have fun with these trends. So let me know in the comments. I just want to remind you, here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And of course, right here or right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. And remember to dress with simplicity to make a lasting impression. Bye, y'all.
We always have it coming.